Hello parents, I'm Mrs. Botten. I am the new journalism advisor, and I'm hoping to stick around for many, many, many years. I say that I'm the new journalism advisor because I know some of your kids, if they are in their fourth year of journalism, I'm now their third advisor, and I'm hoping to learn a lot from them, and I'm really, really excited to start this adventure with them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how our classes work on Zoom and the kinds of things that students look at on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you see this presentation. So the days that we meet, we start with a slide that looks like this. It'll have the date, it's journalism, we're period 5. After that, we have a slide that looks like this. This is my Bitmoji Classroom, and I spent more time than I care to admit on this, but I wanted students to have something that was consistent, that they would see every day, just like they were coming into the classroom if we were in a physical setting. So if we were here on campus, students would be looking at our whiteboard every day to see the agenda and any homework, any reminders that we have. So this is our hub where students can go for a lot of different sources. When we start, we usually click on the date and it tells us what some of the cool days are for different holidays. So for today, for example, it's American Chess Day. And since today is the first day in the month of September, it also gives you all the awareness months that there are. So for example, it's Better Breakfast Month, National Chicken Month, National Honey Month. I mean, it's Suicide Prevention Month. There's a lot of important things that are going on for the month of September. And that's just something fun that we take a look at every day. So following the agenda here about the teacher, I am not going to go through this whole slides presentation with you. It is here for you if you are interested, but I will tell you that I am a Saugus High School graduate. This is my 17th year as a teacher here on campus, and there is absolutely nowhere else that I would rather be. We have amazing people who love their jobs and love the kids. We have incredible students, and it's really because we have incredible families. So I just wanted to say, I really do love the kids and I love what I do, and I am committed to making this the best year that we possibly can, especially in these circumstances that we're in. We're all learning new things, and it's an adventure for sure. About the class, what I included here for about the class is this ethics protocol document that you should have seen, because you should have in some way either signed physically and uploaded it to Google Classroom or signed digitally. So this shouldn't be surprising. And I wanted to include this here because it includes this element here, basic ethics. Balance the public's need for information against potential harm or discomfort, show compassion for those who may be affected by news coverage, and avoid stereotyping. Everything that we publish will be looking at these basic rules for ethics. We will be tackling some pretty sticky news stories, and we want to make sure that we're doing so as responsibly as we can. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew where this document was, because it is important to me. So about the Bitmoji Classroom, there's lots of sources and resources for students here. I showed you the link to the fun days. If they click on the Braver, Stronger, Smarter poster, it takes them to a new source every week. So for example, this link this week was about Never Get Bored. It's about mental health and wellness from author John Green in his Vlog Brothers series with his brother Hank Green. And he talks about how to stay mentally healthy through these times. Every week there is a different link. There has been a link here to some podcasts on Spotify, lots of different resources for mental wellness. And again, there's a new link every week to that. If they click on the Stronger poster, it takes them to the Saugus website. If you click here, it takes you to Saugus News Network's show, weekly show, and you can go ahead and do that and watch their latest show. If you click on the Student Counseling Services poster, this takes you to a document put together by our counselors about all the different resources that we have available for students depending on their needs, including our virtual Serenity space and how to access all these different wellness and counseling resources. So that's what that's about. The Padlet will take students here, and this is about the writing process. So if students need places to conduct research, for example, there's lots of different places and resources for them here. And this just takes them through the writing process. Tools and resources, if they click on this, it takes them to my Google Sites page, and I have a lot of different pages on here for them. I have a wellness and counseling page if they're struggling with something. Really, really great resources here. Student tech resources. This is if students are struggling with how to navigate some of the technologies that we're using, shows them how to work through that. Our schedule, which seems to be changing all the time. This is the latest schedule that we're on. Frequently used documents for journalism. We're going to go down here, and we have the massive journalism handbook that was originally put together by the great Mr. Jim Klipfeld. So it's good stuff. And of course, the syllabus, which I'm hoping your students showed you because you were supposed to complete a Google Doc with that, and the virtual class expectations. So that's the Bitmoji Classroom. Also here, if you click on the newspapers, it's going to take you to the Scroll website. We have a website this year. We're also going to have an app that goes along with it. But what you see now is basically the website template. So it's not quite ready. The students are working really hard on getting their articles completed so that we can have an amazing website to share with everybody. Students know that if they click on my Bitmoji, it takes them to my YouTube channel, which doesn't have a whole lot on there right now besides the back to school night presentations and some things for another class. My coffee mug will take them to my Instagram page. It's another way for us to try to build those bonds and relationships while we're in this virtual environment. And that's all I think you need to see on the Bitmoji Classroom itself. Google Classroom, I just want to share with you how some things are organized. So when your students log in, they will see, and you will see, this stream. This is where I post important information. The daily Zoom link is the first item that's always in the stream. I will always keep the bell schedule, the current bell schedule up, because it seems to be constantly changing. So I have this in a few different places, and other important documents will be here, like who's in what section, story ideas, contact sheet. Under classwork, I've organized it in topics. So the weekly class agenda slides are always going to be first. So if a student happens to be absent during a day, during week 2, they would click on here, go to the slides, and say they were absent for class on Tuesday the 18th. They would click on the Bitmoji Classroom, and it tells them exactly what we did in class that day, what the homework was, and any reminders. So everything that we had to do that day will be here for them. After that, we're working in this here, the article process. So they've got their deadlines that are coming up, and so they should be working through these deadlines. You can ask them about their deadlines and how their articles are coming along. So what we're going to be focusing on in class in the next few weeks is editing their articles and perfecting their articles so that we can get them ready to be published. And these assignments are organized by date. So the most recent assignments will be up at the top, with the farthest assignments or the latest assignments down here. So these were the first assignments that they were given at the start of the semester. And that is Google Classroom. I'm going to move on to how you can contact me. For parents, the best way really is through email. I say here that you might not get a response after 3 o'clock because I try not to do work once I go home, but I'm not successful in doing that yet. So you definitely will get a response very, very quickly if you email me with any questions, comments, or concerns. I welcome them at any time. Students can always use the Remind app. If they don't have a phone to get text messages, they can still use Remind through email. I do use this frequently for, just as it suggests, reminders and important information. Oops. And Google Classroom is something students can also use if they have a question or a comment on one of our assignments. They can go ahead and use the private comment function there, and that's an easy way for me to see which assignment they're having some issues with. This is new for me. A lot of these tips and requests are different because of the situation that we're in now. I would say make sure that students are fully and appropriately dressed. I haven't had this problem in journalism, but in some other classes, there have been some gentlemen who maybe didn't have a shirt on during class, and this is just something new that we want to make sure that everybody is fully and appropriately dressed. Students always need to be aware of what is visible behind them. Again, this hasn't been an issue yet, but it's something that we need to make sure they are aware of. We ask that, or I ask that they refrain from eating and exercising during class just because it's very distracting. And I say exercising because we did have a staff member at one point attend all of our staff meetings while on a treadmill, and it made us seasick because he was just going back and forth the whole time. So I asked that they not exercise during class, but between classes and after class. We also want to make sure that they're sitting up and not laying down on a bed. Again, this isn't something I've had a problem with for journalism. We're a small, really great group of kids, but some other classes we've had to make sure that they are sitting up, and we want to make sure that students are treating our virtual time together as if we were really in the classroom. Some other reminders. Make sure that they're using a desktop or a laptop for live classes, just because phones and tablets don't always have the accessibility that they need. They need to make sure they're using their school Google accounts. They need to make sure they're using the Chrome browser. Again, it's an accessibility thing. And this, for me, is most important. Be patient and understanding with teachers, peers, and yourselves. And what I mean by yourselves is you, parents. I know that this is not easy for parents. I am a parent of 2 small children myself. So I know the struggles of watching your kids struggle with isolation and loneliness and technology issues. I understand. And I understand how frustrating it is as a parent to not always have the answers either. I just want to remind everybody that this is a new adventure for everyone, so let's maintain a positive and helpful attitude, look out for one another, and most importantly, keep a strong sense of humor. For sure. I'm going to go back to the Bitmoji Classroom. I do have some homework for you as parents. Your homework is to hug your kids, tell them you love them, and tell them you are proud. They need to hear this a lot, especially now. And I also want to encourage you to engage in some very important self-care. I mean, as the saying goes, you cannot fill the cups of others if your own is empty. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself during these very challenging times. And reminders, again, be patient with your kids, their teachers, and yourselves. I really look forward to working with all of these kids and seeing what they can create with this paper. And I more than anything, I really look forward to having them back in the classroom because I miss them a lot. So I encourage you to please reach out at any time if you have questions, comments, or concerns. Thank you very much for raising incredible, incredible human beings. It makes my job that much more enjoyable. Enjoy your evenings. Mwah. Bye.